Hello, hello, hello. So y'all, I'm back. I know it's been a long time. Bear with me. Bear with me. It's been a long time. So for my new subbies, hello. For my old subbies, yo. For people that don't know me, my name is Lexis, Lexxiis, but you can call me Lexi for short. I'm gonna just try to jump right into the video, y'all, because this video is already gonna be super duper long. I'm gonna try not to make it long. But it's a lot. And I need to say all this because this is the backstory of how I got to where I'm at now. So everything else will make sense. If it makes sense. It makes sense. So, so I'm going to be looking down at my phone just to make sure I am speaking in a linear kind of way rather than all over the place. So yeah. So backstory. My mom never really pushed religion on us. We believed in God. We went to church. My grandma had us in church and stuff like that. But like we never really had our own personal relationship. But I had relationships with God, just not to the extent that I have now. And I'm actually kind of grateful toward it. Like, yeah, it sucks, but at the same time I'm grateful because I know the relationship that I have with God is strictly my own. It was not forced or pushed on me. That's how I know it's real. You know what I'm saying? So, and I went a lot of different routes before I got here. So I can speak to the people that has been into tarot readings because I was obsessed with tarot. I can speak to the people that are just more spiritual, who believed in the Moors and stuff like that, and you know all this other stuff, blase squaze. So I want to speak from that perspective of understanding like how I got here and why I got here and why I believe in what I believe. Okay, so I want to say what really kind of like pushed God towards me is my brother passing away when I was like 15, about to turn 16 years old, and my parents stopped going to church altogether. And I wanted to be in church. Like, I was mad that we wasn't going to church. So once I was able to drive, I would like go to different churches. I went to the movement. Like, I would still go to Vineyard. Like, I was doing different things, but I kept myself in church, really thinking about it. And then fast forward, after my senior year, I was with the same guy I was with since I was a junior, and I lost my virginity after I graduated, and then I got pregnant. Like, when I say I was in denial, y'all, I was in denial. I took like 18 pregnancy tests. I know the lady at Dollar Tree was just like, girl, if it said yes, it's yes. Like, let it go. Like, then I went to the hospital because I was like, these can't be right. I was like, and then my friend was still a virgin, so I was like, pee on this stick. I'm gonna pee on this stick. If it match, if it don't match, like, it's not giving what it's supposed to give, I'm going to the hospital. And then I had called my mama down, and my mama told me like, yeah, she's pregnant. She was mad at first, but she wanted me to keep it. So I called my ex like, hey, I'm pregnant, and he was so excited. He was so happy. And by him being happy made me boohoo cry because it's like, you're not supposed to be like, I'm glad you're happy, but at the same time, I don't want to have a kid. I'm 18 years old. I'm right about college. I'm not done being selfish at this time. I'm just not done. I'm not mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, like I am not ready for this. And our relationship is too up and down for us to be a child into this. Like, it's just not, no, not at all. So I struggled with it, and I ended up getting an abortion. Literally on the table, I wanted to just say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I went through it afterwards. Like, I was mad at my mom for letting it happen. I was mad at myself for getting myself in this position. I was mad at him. I was mad at God. And then I was scared that God wouldn't allow me to have another child. And I was just so scared of everything. Like, I was just like, so sorry, God. I remember like being dramatic. I'm running in the rain. I'm like sitting in front of a lake, and I'm just trying to like, I'm silent time. Like, at this point, I'm extremely lost, and I'm going through it. That was the first time I went through it. So I want to say fast forward, I'm working and stuff like that, and I no longer care about my home life. Like, my home life is just not where I want it to be. So I ended up moving with my sister. And y'all, this change was like a dramatic because I'm from Miami. So Homestead is like the slowest pace I've ever been to. Like, because I kind of grew up in Homestead since like elementary school, but I would always go to Miami, which is like 45 minutes out. Like, you know, same difference. I go to Fayetteville, and Fayetteville is like, what the heck? And mind you, it's like a military Fort Bragg base, whatever, because my sister was in the military. So at this point, I am miserable because the town itself is just dead. I don't have a job right now, so I'm looking for a job. And I'm smoking, I'm drinking, and I gained like 30 pounds. I literally gained 30 pounds. So, and I'm clubbing all the time. Like, if my sister's not at work, we go to the club, we drink, we smoke, we play cards, da 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 da. And then I finally got to a job, started doing life insurance. I was not happy about that. It was not something that I saw myself doing for a long time. I was just, and I would look outside the window and I just be like, I'm really here. Like, this can't be life. After 3 months of that, I was like, all right, I gotta regroup. So I went back to Miami, but I did not move back home. I moved with my aunt. So at this point, I'm living outside of my trunk, but I would like sleep on my godson's bed, and then I take a shower, whatever, and I would go to work. And I would do that same thing every day, and I would kind of stay in my car as long as I could, because I just didn't want to be a burden to them. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't really move how I wanted to move because I'm in somebody else's house. So at this point now, I'm working like 3 jobs. I'm working Amazon, I'm working like a CBD company during the day, Amazon at night, and then I'm doing Lyft and Uber after my night job. So to save up, because at this point, me and my best friend decided we were going to move to Tallahassee. She was going to go to FAMU. I was going to live like, it was like a 3-3, like an apartment outside of like off, not in the dorms or whatever. So we was doing that. So we ended up doing that. We got a job, I'm gonna say within the first month, but I didn't start my job until October 15th, and I moved there August 15th. So from then on there, I was like just basically going to the gym. I lost like 20 pounds, and I'm like meal prepping, doing all this other stuff, and really just focusing on myself at this point, right? Cool. So fast forward, I end up I'm working at the job, and everybody around me is in a relationship. Like, everybody, it's a small town, everybody's in a relationship. And it kind of hit me like, yo, I'm not in a relationship. But it was this dude that was like super duper smart to me. Like, every time I would talk to him, he would teach me something. I said dude like he not my ex. So I'm like intrigued, whatever, but I did not do my due diligence. I think I'm using that word right. And I did not check if he had a girlfriend or anything like that, because I mean, I never even stepped to him, he stepped to me. So I assume if you step to me and you trying to pursue me, that you single, because that's what normal people do. You feel me? So I was not used to that type of lifestyle where people just be cheating all willy-nilly like this, you know what I'm saying? So me and him end up talking, and this is what I mean, like, not having God in your life will put you in situations and positions that you just was never supposed to be in. Because if I had a relationship with God, I would have discerned the situation, I would have asked the questions, and I wouldn't have been put on an emotional roller coaster, because God doesn't deal with confusion. And I was confused the whole time I was with this man, the entire time. So fast forward, now this relationship is toxic. I mean, absolutely toxic. I'm yelling, I'm screaming. He done pulled out a gun on me. I mean, like, it's just different levels. I'm like, yo, I'm not used to this. You know what I'm saying? But it's turning me into a mean person. I had stopped working at this time. I'm doing Uber full time, you know, and I felt like I revolved my whole life around him. You know what I'm saying? I was putting him first, and I was constantly putting myself here and putting him here. And then all my other relationships were going, like, you know, so he's here, this relationship here, this relationship here, and I'm just all the way at the bottom, not like filling my own cup, you know. So fast forward, he gets me into tarot, you know what I'm saying, and now I'm stuck. I'm obsessed at this point, because the stuff is happening. Like, I'm like, yo, like, that's true, that just happened. Like, so it trust me, it's real. It's just not something you want to play with. So I'm like, yo, so I'm like, gotta watch like 11 videos a day type stuff. Like, I'm obsessed. Then everything he started telling me, I'm getting farther and farther away from God. Like, yeah, I'm talking to God. Yeah, I'm still doing my prayer journal and stuff like that. But like, I'm questioning God more. Like, I'm just not having the relationship that I'm supposed to have with God at this point. Okay? So, why am I think falling? Let's be for real. So, fast forward, the relationship is like tragic right now. Me and him, I am miserable. I'm sad. And I remember after doing the he is having sex. Like, we're grown. He's laying on me. I'm laying down. I'm looking up at the ceiling, and he's smiling. Like, he is just having the best sleep in the world. And I am literally crying. Like, I'm tearing up, and I'm trying to stay quiet so he does not hear me. So I end up like kind of scooting out, and I go downstairs, and I'm praying that my roommate does not come out of her room, because I just need to get this cry out. I don't want nobody to ask me no questions, no nothing. Okay. So I go back upstairs, and I kind of get in the same position as if I never moved or whatever. And he's snuggled all, and I'm just like, I am sleeping with the enemy. Okay. Like, we had a conversation one day, and he was just like, you show me your hand too much. And in my head, I'm like, we're on the same team. What do you mean? Like, you're supposed to know my hand. And in that time, I realized, yo, I am sleeping with the enemy. Okay. So I started moving different. I started looking at him different. I felt like I had rose colored glass like in front of me the entire time I was with this man. But then things started to get more clear, and I started to see him for who he really was. And it was like, I wouldn't say he was evil, but he most definitely had the devil inside of him. Like, he most definitely was operating from that place. And I was more susceptible toward it because my relationship with God was not strong. So fast forward, because that was the first time I realized was like, yeah, this is not it. So I wake up one day and I'm miserable. And I was like, you know what? I'm cleaning up everything. So I cleaned up. My room was a mess. I knew I hadn't seen him in a minute because my room was a mess. So my room was a mess. My bathroom was a mess. Everything was just a freaking mess. So I went to Walmart. I got new blankets, new carpets, new everything. Like, I got new everything, and was like, you know what? I'm starting over. Like, I'm done complaining, done being sad about things that I can't control. I'm going to fix the things I can't control, and that means doing things that make me happy again. Going back to the gym, I started doing this workout program, group class with Iconic Physique, S and Tally. Shout out to Corey. He'll get you right. I promise you, he will. Started doing that, and then I started hanging around different friends and stuff like that, and just creating my own type of thing. Like, I wasn't revolving my life around him and just waiting on him to get to my house. So then I would just wake up one day and be like, oh, I feel like going to Miami. So I was in Tallahassee, so I was like 7 hours away from Miami, but I was also 7 hours away from Charlotte, which was my dad's house where I currently live, Charlotte. So I would just like wake up, he would leave, whatever, like, I'll see you later. I'm like, all right, I'll see you later, whatever. And then I would just be like, you know what, I feel like seeing my mama today, my sisters. I want to see them for a week. Boom, I would drive there because I was doing Uber so much. Driving that long, I'm going to do that today easy. So I might as well just go one way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is type stuff. And I'll make up the money when I come back. So I would do that, and I was doing that often. Like, I come back, now I'm going to my dad. He's like, dang, I never see you and stuff like that. And in my head, we don't go together. In my head, we just mess with each other until my lease is up and I'm going to go, because I can't, like, I don't see myself marrying you. So everything that I do right now is just like, I'm not putting out my effort into this anymore. Like, it's dead. So I'm moving like that. I started like really focusing on like makeup, because that's what I originally wanted to do, makeup artist. I am a makeup artist currently. So I started practicing doing stuff like that. I started making reels, started like teaching myself how to like do a YouTube banner and stuff like that. And I fixed my website. I finally did my website because I kept pushing it off. And as soon as I did that, I got a job. And the only reason I got it is because I said that I was able to do makeup in 45-minute increments. And she needed that because it needed to be quick. And reason I put that, because I would practice and I would time myself, and I felt like I needed to time myself to become fast. And that's how I got the job. So I was like, God worked in mysterious ways. You have no idea. That's a whole other subject for another day. So fast forward, I started working my job on the weekend. So meaning I would travel to like Georgia, I would travel here, whatever the case may be, to do these shows, these bodybuilding makeup shows, whatever. So I was doing that, and I just didn't have time for him. And then when he would come to see me, I was just frustrated. Like, I was just aggravated. He'd be like, I ain't even say nothing yet. And I just be like, it just be you. Like, you disrupt my peace. And it was his energy. Because at this point, I had been filling my cup. And I had created peace in myself. And I was doing what God, like, I was in my purpose. Even though like I was learning the Bible and stuff like that, but I wasn't really in tune with God as of yet. It's just like that separation had showed me that you were not my peace. You disrupt my peace. So it became very, very, very like big to me of, all right, the next person I date, they got to be better than my peace, because this is not it. So fast forward, I move out and I move to Charlotte. I didn't even say goodbye to him. That's a whole nother thing in itself. So I came down here. First 6 months, you know, I'm still doing my traveling job, whatever, but they're flying me out now, so I'm not driving as much. And I started talking to these guys, and I'm talking to the different guys with the same guy with different faces. And I'm just like, okay, it's me at this point, because there's no way I keep attracting the same dudes. So before I would like actually like catch feelings, I would just dead it. Like, okay, this is not it. I'm being breadcrumbed, or because I was not used to that. Like, I would always date guys that just went over and beyond for me. Even my first ex, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, this was not used to, I wasn't used to it. So once I saw that happening again, I just was like, whoa. I'm not doing this. I'm not falling in love with potential. I'm not doing that. Not convincing myself that we can make this work when we can't. So did that. I want to say right after that, I ended up getting on the app, because I'm still trying to put myself out there. I'm just a little bit more picky on my options. So I ended up talking to this dude, and he's way different from what I'm used to, right? We click. He's funny. Like, he's genuinely funny. Like, I'm dying laughing, like stomach hurting. So while I'm laughing and stuff like that, and the way he talks to me, so it was more, not even more so what he could do for me and like the dates we were going on. It was more so how he lived his life, how he took care of himself, how he, you know, dealt with hardship, how he dealt with setbacks and stuff like that. Like, it was inspiring to watch someone just be so humble and so calm and so just himself. He didn't care to like be on the scene and everything like that. I've always dated guys I didn't care to be on the scene, but like was just himself. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And the way he talked to me, like, he could check me without disrespecting me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had respect for himself, and it showed on how he respected me as well, and how he spoke to his mom and his aunts and stuff like that, and just being patient and responsible. So it was just like, oh, and that's the type of guy I wanted, but I was not equipped as of yet to have that guy. Like, I wanted him, but I had a lot of things that I needed to deal with still, because it's like, I want that type of guy, but I'm still clubbing, I'm still drinking, I'm still smoking. You feel me? At this point, I think I had stopped smoking as much, but I was still kind of smoking. And it kind of just made me like want to push towards being better, right? So that was like the first catalyst of like, okay, things really need to change, right? So fast forward, me and him stopped talking or whatever, and I went to go help my sisters. Well, help my mom. My mom is a travel nurse, and my sisters had like a lot of stuff, whatever. So I came down there to basically pay nanny, housewife, whatever you want to call it. And I fell in love with makeup again, but I also realized like I want to be that mom that is at home making her kids lunches and stuff like that, and you know, going to all their games. And I don't want to be and at a 9 to 5 missing all of this. So that put, and I've always thought I was going to be a working person, so that put in perspective of like, okay, this is what I want now. So now I'm like, okay, I want a housewife. I want to be a housewife. I want to be this, I want to be that. That was a very, very like pivotal moment in my life, because you don't understand, like, I've been working my whole life. That's just the norm to me. So fast forward, I come back down to Charlotte, and it's like, okay, I'm living my life like this. Now I'm going to go full throttle into my purpose, into my business and stuff like that. And I'm sitting in a club for New Year's, like New Year's Eve 2022 going into 2023. And I'm like, yeah, this is not it for me. Like, I no longer desire to be at the club. I no longer desire to be drinking and smoking and feeling like crap in the morning. Like, I just don't desire this. So I'm telling my friends this, and they're hearing me, but they're just not really hearing me. And we keep ending up in these like smaller clubs. Like, we're still clubbing, but just smaller. And I'm just like, this is just not the vibe I want. And at the time, I'm trying to save money or whatever. So, excuse me. So I ended up doing the Daniel fast. And the Daniel fast, oh my gosh. So God had me cutting off people left and right. Now, I barely had any friends then. God told me to basically cut off everybody. And I'm like, God, I ain't got no friends. And God knew exactly what he was doing, because he knew in this season that he was about to throw me into was going to be a wilderness season. And that he was going to have to be my best friend. Like, he was going to be the forefront of my what's the word? My focus. So I was not going to be able to steward any of my friendships the way I was supposed to steward them, because of the season I was going to be in. So God separated me from them, really. And the whole time I'm thinking he's separating them from me. That's not what it was. So fast forward, now I'm cutting off all my friends. You know, God has told me quit my job. I'm like, quit my job? I'm trying to move out. Like, we mean quit my job? He like, quit your job. I was so hard-headed. When I say I was so hard, that's a whole nother sermon for itself. That's a whole nother subject. So I'm gonna put that in another video, because it's gonna tie into what's coming next. So I quit my job after fasting and praying about it. And then I don't know how I got, but the last 6 months God has paid my bills. Like I said, that's a whole different video. Whatever. So now I'm like walking, I'm doing like 75 hard Christian challenge. I'm being more disciplined in the things that I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm constantly in the gym. Like, I'm showing up for myself. And at this point, I've had a team. You feel me? So God had put a team in my life. Had like a stylist, content director, you know, photographer, like the dream team. And then snatch that bad boy away from me. Snatch that bad boy away from me. I mean, like, one by one. Like, I don't have beef with 2 of them at all. I can't say I have beef with anybody, but I don't have any problems or had any arguments with the last 2 people on my team. But we had to separate for like different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just for different reasons. And it hit home. For New Year's Eve, I had to stop talking to one of my closest friends. He became one of my closest friends. And out of just respect, and did that. And I just realized, like, damn, I went into the New Year's with like, coming into this New Year with no team. Basically, like, very few friends. Like, I wouldn't say acquaintances. I probably had like 1 or 2 friends that I came into the New Year with. Like, literally, it looked like I went backwards. But then when I sat down and realized, like, God wants the glory for everything that's about to happen in my next season. And if I am attached to people that believe that they're the reason why I'm where I'm at, he won't get the glory. So I feel like that's the real reason why God had to like remove me from certain things too. And then I realized, like, I don't smoke, I don't drink anymore, I don't club anymore. Like, the things that I used to crave before, I don't crave anymore. Like, the stuff I used to like suffer from, I don't suffer from that anymore. Do I still be having like some trials? Absolutely, when it comes down to certain things. But like, now my biggest trial is like obedience. Is learning to be obedient immediately, not when I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting my discernment to be at a higher level. It's understanding that I don't see it now, but God sees it, in like how it'll trickle down and play off until later. Because there was things that I planted seeds in like 2022 that sprouted in the middle of 2023. And I'm like, wow, I did not see that coming. So I planted so many seeds last year that I have to harvest. Like, it says it in the Bible. You know, I don't want to quote exactly. I'm very bad at quoting stuff. But I know I have it in my notes. I don't want to quote anything wrong. But I know when you plant a seed, you got to reap a harvest. And in doing so, it's just like I've seen harvest in other areas of my life. And now I know my discernment is like top notch. Because like even when a guy tries to talk to me, first thing I do is like, do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus? Do you go to church? Like when I'm having these questions, it's just like, yeah, I'm interviewing you. Like, because I'm not about to waste my time. And two, I know the guy God has for me, what he will have. I'm not asking for a perfect person, but I know the type of man, the character that he will have. And by you answering certain questions, I know like, okay, you're not it. And this has saved me so much time, because I asked God about one particular dude, and literally God answered me immediately. And I decided to be a little hard-headed, right? But I was like, let me be on the lookout, right? Now, mind you, he's using God. He's like, God told me to come talk to you, and da-da-da. He's saying all the right things after the fact that God had already showed me what it was. And then I don't know how we ended up on this subject, but he asked me about sex. And I was like, oh no, I've been abstinent for almost 2 years, fam. Like, and I'm not having sex until I'm married. When I tell you, this man, he fell off the freaking machine. Like literally, he fell off the freaking machine, being dramatic, whatever. And goes on to tell me, oh, I can't mess with you then, because you mentally stimulate me and I need sex in my life. Like, and you doing all that and me talking to you and getting to know you and then telling me that I can't have sex with you is a problem for me. So I'm thinking like, he not for real. He stopped speaking to me in the gym. He just stopped speaking to me. And I just start laughing, because it's like, yo, you can really weed out the people that only want you for sex. Like, we used to have these good conversations, but you were really only becoming my friend because you wanted to have sex with me. And once you realize that that was off the table, you felt no need for me. Like, not even a hi, hello, you know, you good, keep it short and sweet. Like, none of that. It was like, oh, I can't have sex with you? Deuces. Like, when I tell you, I would have wasted so much time on that dude if I didn't ask God what it was, or I wasn't like where I'm at now. And vice versa for other dudes. There's certain people where certain dudes, I can just look at them and be like, you only want me for one thing, and be right. Like, when I tell my dad, be like, you're so hard on dudes. In my head, it's like, you don't live the lifestyle that I live. You don't talk to God the way I talk to God. Like, God be letting me know exactly what it is before it happens. And I'm not, my bad, I was rudely interrupted by my brother. So, but yeah, my discernment has been like top notch as of lately. And that comes down with friends, come down to people who I do business with. It's just me not needing validation from other people, knowing that I have a purpose. And just like, even when business is going slow, it's just like, you know what? I'm a steward over what I need to steward now and work on what I need to work on now, because God knows the bigger picture. And when it's time for him to accelerate me, I will be ready. I'll be able to maintain it the way I need to maintain it. So just that. And I keep looking over because my board, I'm looking at like my 75-day Christian challenge. I'm looking at my goals. I'm looking at everything, and I constantly look at it on a daily basis, because it shows me like how more organized I've become, how more disciplined I've become, how I steward over my finances a lot better, even though I ain't got none right now. But when I do, I be stewarding over them. I budget, you know. I'm just so grateful to like where I've become, like where I am now, because how far I have gone within just a year. You know what I'm saying? And last year was like the beginning year. You know, the first year in the gym beat up, but then after that it become fun, it become this. And I feel like this is like the best decision that you could ever make, because God shows himself every day. When I tell you God shows himself, that's a whole nother video in itself, because I don't want to make this long. But I was show just the last year on how God had blessed me in every single way possible. I'm gonna just do a whole video on that, because yo, God be showing out for me. He be showing out for me. So that's that. I make sure I said everything. Because like I said, I don't want to make this this video too long. And yeah, but understanding this journey, you will be isolated at a time if you're going through your wilderness season. It is not fun. There's going to be a lot of crying. It's going to be a lot of battling with God, being confused. Walking by faith and not by sight is extremely hard. It sounds cute, but it's hard. It's going to be, it takes mental fortitude. It also takes spiritual, like, hardening, like becoming very dependent on God and just not your own works is probably the hardest thing that I've had to learn, because I'm like, I gotta go out there and get it. I gotta go grind. And God is like, sit still, wait on me. You can't move ahead of me. And that's so hard, because you want to feel like we're a part of it. And I'm not saying that's everybody's story, but my story in particular, learning that sometimes working harder does not mean that you're going to get there quicker. God is like, just obey me, because I see, and I'm going to do a little shortcut. I'm going to like maneuver you in a way where it's going to get you there faster. But if you keep moving, I can't pick you up and put you where I need you to be. I need you to stay still. And learning to stay still in this journey is probably going to be the most challenging yet most beneficial thing that you could do. And just praying, and God speaks to everybody in different ways. So I can't tell you how God will speak to you. I couldn't even tell you how God speaks to me. And sometimes I be flabbergasted. I'll be flabbergasted. So you're gonna have a lot of moments where I be like, God, you funny. Like, you know what? I hear you. Type stuff. So that's really just my why I switched over to being a full Christian and not a lukewarm Christian, because one, I don't have a desire to go back because my life is better. The only thing right now I'm suffering is in my finances. I am blessed in everywhere else. And finances, you can be up and you can be down in one day. You know what I'm saying? So I know when God wants to elevate me, he wants to elevate me. But I just know that by being a Christian and who I've becoming, working the fruits of the Spirit every day, I have become a way better person and character-wise. And I also know that every day I'm doing my purpose, and whether that's being a good sister, whether that's being a good friend, whether that's being a good daughter, being, you know, a testimony to somebody else. Every day I have a purpose, and purpose is not a destination. And knowing that, it has made my life a lot more fulfilling, because now it's more so of like, yeah, I don't know where I'm going, but how did I serve someone today? Did I speak kind words to someone today? If I died today, what did I do with Jesus's job anytime this week? You understand what I'm saying? So just knowing that every day I'm doing something to fulfill that purpose is a lot better than going every day, you know, feeding my flesh and then waking up every morning like, thank God I didn't die yesterday, because I was sinning a lot and I ain't repent. Like, you know, it's just it's a different type of peace that you feel, you know, knowing that you're doing the best that you can and God sees your heart. So I'm gonna stop the video right here before I make it too long. But the next video will probably be more about testimonials and like how God speaks to me. I don't know what it's gonna be, honestly. I don't. You just got to stay tuned for that, for another Lex Talks Tuesdays. I am starting a series called Lex Talks Tuesdays, and we're gonna call the series Give Me Grace, because y'all, I am not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still falling and getting back up. And if God gives me grace every day, y'all give me grace just like I can give y'all grace. So that's what the series is going to be called. Other than that, I hope that y'all like videos like this. Y'all comment below if y'all want to see more videos like this. And subscribe, comment, like, share, all of that. And yeah, other than that, y'all stay blessed and what? Y'all flex with Lex. Deuces.